So it's been a while since I've done an update, and I was going to type a few things in online, and just thought it'd be easier to kind of go around the car and do a quick update. So this is where the car is now. It's back from the paint shop. Had a few little niggles to sort out. I had an ongoing problem with the power steering, which I'm pleased to say is now sorted out. Only took 3 or 4 flushes of the fluid. Probably mentioned this previously. The previous owner years back run the car with the cooler rusted away. All the rust got into the system basically, and it all needed to be completely stripped and rebuilt. So that's all sorted. So that's a little bit of progress there. So just take a walk round. And this is the original colour. This is Honda Hampshire Green. For those of a nerdy disposition like myself, that's BG26M, and it was offered by Honda just for 1 year. Didn't seem to be very popular back in the day. So these colour cars are incredibly rare. Perhaps since maybe you last saw the car, if you've seen it before, the wheels have changed again. So these are a set of Enkai RPO2s. They're forged wheels. We've got them from Japan. They're in a 16 by 6.5 with the correct 45 offset. So absolutely spot on for the car, and they are so light for the size that they are. Makes a huge difference. I'm not really into, particularly on this car, big rims just start to look like some kind of comedy caricature. But anyway, so as I'm still riding on the BCs, which were kindly set up for me by Rich at Performance Autoworks. I have put a little bit of preload on the front springs because I didn't feel the car was settling quite as well on poor roads. The roads up here, I live out in the countryside, not the best. So if you do hit a bad road, the car can get unsettled quite quickly. But a little bit of preload on those front springs, and it seems to have sorted that out. So this, after 4 years of restoration, made it to its first show a few weeks back, and that was the Retro Ride show at Chelsea Walsh in Worcestershire. And that was a really good day. We'd had some really miserable weather leading up to the show, and it was amazingly a great day. Really good weather. A few people got quite badly sunburnt, but yeah, I suppose that's a good sign in a British summer of a good day. So yeah, I'll take you through the interior. I think there's always, with these projects, there's always something to do. I flocked some of the interior myself. Really not happy with the results. So over the winter, that'll all be stripped back and redone. I've got some 4-way stretch fabric that I'm going to use instead. So it's nice to have these little projects ongoing. Inside we've got Momo tuner wheel, very similar to the NSXR wheel, and we've got the 5-speed RSX shift knob. Again, very rare to have a manual car in the UK, and if we look up, you might see I've retrimmed that trim needs doing again, but basically I've got an Alcantara roof, and you probably see on that back C-pillar there, it is flocked. Not happy with it, will be redone. This being the SE model, we've got climate, cruise, aircon, leather. What I've done is I've relocated the cruise controls buttons. The buttons are off a 93 Accord Coupe, which would have been fitted to the steering wheel, but I managed to pick these up off eBay for, I think it's about 10 quid, so and they work fine. So that was a really easy job to do. Stereo wise, I've removed the subwoofer. I'm just running a Genesis amp and focal speakers front and back, and the sound for me, for the light use that this car gets, is absolutely fine. Right, let's have a look in the engine bay, and we'll have a quick look in the boot. For those owners overseas, or perhaps in the States, I don't think you got this toolkit. This came with the 4-wheel steer cars in the UK, and this is a special edition model. Don't know why I just popped the fuel cap. Anyway, so this is a complete toolkit, and it clips in just to the side. Sorry, I'm doing this with just the one hand. So yeah, it sits in the corner there next to your Honda issued Cupcake air freshener, and you'll see on the other side I am quite old, so I have a tartan rug in the back. I think that's also mandatory, particularly on an old car driven by an old person. But anyway, and this is the UK badge for this particular car. There was never any SE marking with these. The SE was a dealer option. Basically got 14-inch blade alloys. You got aircon as standard, which wasn't standard on the other models, and then you got the leather interior, and you also got the boot spoiler. Strangely, the boot spoiler doesn't have the LED light in it, or the high level brake light, because apparently the UK law at the time determined that you needed a relay to run that light, and that wasn't something that was part of the plan apparently. So a little blanking plate was just put in there instead. So that was that's the reason why there's no light in that spoiler. Right, I'll pop the engine bay this time and not the fuel cap. Let me see whether I can do this with one hand. Just reminding me I've got another project to do, and that's I've got some dampers, some hydraulic dampers to replace the hood strut. So just give me a second. Hopefully you can see the countryside, which is it's very rural where I am. Yeah, the engine bay, it's tidy. I've tried not to over restore this and do kind of the ridiculous. Not ridiculous, it's the kind of thing I do quite like, but this is not concourse. It's just very, very tidy, and there's still work to do in here. I would like it to be a little bit better, and I probably will do a little bit of work over the winter, but for now it's all fine. Because I've been working on the power steering system and various other bits and bobs, it's work in progress, shall we say. In terms of what's gone on in here, engine was rebuilt top to bottom again. Let's give them a plug here. Performance Auto Works down Gloucestershire Way. I did a fantastic job. That's all documented on my kind of Facebook blog. New distributor, new clutch. Rebuilt the IACV and the whole throttle body. I've basically just gone through the whole car. New alternator, starter's the original. I think there's only the starter and the gearbox that's still original. But yeah, it probably will get a bit more tidied up over time. But it's absolutely fine for now, and everything works. I think that's the thing about this car, that absolutely everything works, apart from the aircon, which I've not had regassed yet. It's had a new condenser, new receiver dryer, but it just needs a system filling up with a drop-in gas. This is still, would take R12 if you could get it in the UK, which you can't. So I'll be getting a drop-in gas put in there instead. So that's the engine bay. More shots of the countryside. So there we are. That's where we're up to. Still bits and bobs to do, but the car is looking rather nice. And yeah, that's 8 minutes of me whittering on. Probably a little bit easier than me typing all this out and trying to explain where we're up to. So yeah, maybe there'll be a video in future of me actually driving the car. Maybe not. I'm not very good at keeping up to date with these things, but there you go. If you've got any questions or you'd like to know a bit more about the car, just drop me a message and I'll be more than happy to reply as and when I get a chance. I will say that I'm not on social media an awful lot these days, so please do be patient, and I'll speak to you soon.